The Lost Son. This is a story from the Bible and it can be found in Luke chapter 15 verse 11. It's all about a family. There was a father and he had two sons, an older one and a younger one. The oldest son, well, his name was Bernard. He was a little bit grumpy, but sometimes older sons can be like that. But actually he was a hard worker and he loved his dad so much. His dad, well, he was the owner of the whole of the farm and he was very wealthy, but he was also a very wise dad and he loved his sons equally. And then there was Bruce. Bruce was the youngest one, and one day he thought it would be fun to ask his dad for something. Dad, you know what? I know that it's a long way off until you pass away, but when you do pass away, I think we're going to get some money. Is there any chance I can get it early? I want to go into the city and experience life a little bit. Dad was a little bit sad about that, but he said, okay, Bruce, look, here's your money. You can go off to the city and just take care of yourself. So Bruce packed his bags, all of his money, and said goodbye to Bernard and his dad. He was going to have a wild time in the city. It was going to be great fun. The first place he thought he'd head for was the pub. Yeah, let's go to the pub and buy everyone a drink. They'll all be my friends and it'll be fantastic. So he went into the pub. He spent loads of money on drink. He had loads of people around him. They loved Bruce. Oh, Bruce is great. Look, he's getting free drinks. There was dancing and there were drinking, and he got to know some of the girls a little bit good as well. In fact, he took one of them outside and was just getting to know her really well, but he was drinking way too much and he ended up on the floor. In fact, those people that were around him, they actually stole his money and he ended up with absolutely nothing. Over the past few weeks, he had spent all this money and he was now skint. He had to find a job for himself. So he thought, you know what, I'll go and ask around for a job. But the only job he could get was on a farm feeding pigs, this stinky, horrible stuff. And he was thinking, what am I doing? I've got this horrible job and Dad's at home and even his servants are better off than me. I need to just go back and say sorry. So he packed his bag, he got out of that job and he headed towards home. He was really nervous because he didn't know what his dad was going to say, but he knew he just had to say sorry. And as he was walking up the pathway to his farmyard, his dad saw him. Bruce, is that you? His dad had such an exciting voice. He was in a celebrational mood because he couldn't believe that his youngest son was back home. He ran towards Bruce. Bruce, come home. And he dropped his stick and went to give Bruce the massive hug he has ever given. Bruce said, Dad, I'm really sorry. I've spent all of your money. I've been such a fool. But Dad said, don't worry, Bruce. You were lost, but now you are found. We're going to hold a party. Let's light a campfire. Let's get around the party and let's have some fireworks. All of his servants came round and there was great celebration because Bruce was back at home. He was so happy. But actually, Bernard came in from doing a hard day's work and he heard all this fun and laughter around the campfire and he thought, what is this? He came up to ask one of the servants, what's going on here? And he called his dad outside. He was not happy because even though Bruce was back, it was unfair that he'd spent all the money. Dad, what's going on? Why are you celebrating your son coming back and spending all your money? I've been working really hard here. And Dad said, you know what, Bruce, you haven't quite understood it. My son was lost and now he's found. And that's what Jesus said about this story. Sometimes we do things bad and wrong and we go away from God, but God is always waiting for us. We have been lost, but when we're found, God loves us so much.